Welcome to our first in a series of PowerCore training videos. This video is called Getting to Know PowerCore. PowerCore family consists of 3 controllers. The MPC-20R2, which is featured here, the MPC-10, and the Tech-10. They all have the same user interface, and they all have the same menu structure. There are some items in the menus that might vary between the 20 and the 210s. 210s are identical. Other than that, once you learn one, you've pretty much learned all of them. Let's start with the user interface. Starting from left to right, we have the start and stop manual start and stop of the engine with the green and red buttons. Auto button toggles you between auto and manual. The alarm silences the beeper on an alarm. The rabbit and the tortoise for manually increasing and decreasing engine speed in manual. The menu button that toggles you from the main screens in the front to the menus and back. The back button allows you to step back out of a menu the same steps that you used to get into it, so you only need to go back one step, you only have to go back one step. The enter button in the middle is used for entering set points and entering the menu you want to get into, and passcode. The up and down arrows navigate the front screens. You can also make set point changes the values with the same up and down arrows, and the passcodes are done with the up and down arrows. Let's talk about the home screen. The home screen is where the controller goes after it's initially powered up. The top, pretty much the top half of the display is for the tachometer, and you'll notice the target RPM, which is an internally generated RPM that we use to throttle the engine to. Oil pressure, engine temp, battery voltage. Below that, you would see DEF level or soot level if you selected those gauges, and the running hours for the engine. Below that, you have the stopped. It says stopped for the status, for the state that the controller's in is a stop state. We're in manual operation, and there's an hour meter, running time meter that's timing down, which is the standby timer. That could be any time delay though. It could be warm up or cool down, depending on what time delay was timed. It would show how much is remaining on it. Below that, we have the Tier 4 icons and any other alarm icons that are to be displayed. So navigating the front screens, you can use the up or down arrows to go in either direction you want. Hit the up arrow once and we go to our first 6 up screen. These could be populated. It allows 6 variables to be shown at once. These can be populated from a menu in PowerVision for controllers, which you can download from our website. So you can change these or you can blank them out. There's our second 6 up display. Here's the application screen. Shows engine RPM, oil pressure, and engine temp. Dual contact start stop, which is the factory default. Shows the floats are inactive, basically floats are dual contact. And it shows the throttle percentage on the right because we go to a running loaded RPM with floats. Next screen is the system information. It shows what model you have, what version of software you have. Tech services will more than likely have you go to this screen so they know what they're dealing with. They know what you have. Analog input status, it shows the analog number along the left column, and then what it's configured for. They're all disabled from the factory, but if I chose 4 to 20 milliamp discharge pressure for analog 1, it would show that on here. Digital output status, digital output number on the left, what it's configured for, and whether that output is on or off. Relay status, relay number on the left, what it's configured for, and whether it's on or off. And these are all factory settings we're looking at here. I haven't changed anything from the factory. Digital input status, digital number, input number, what it's configured for, and whether that input's opened or closed. So without knowing any passcodes, just on the front screens, you can tell what the controller is configured for as far as start-stop goes, throttling, and what the I/O is configured for, without getting into it. One more page or one more screen, and we've got back to our home screen. Let's get into the menus. Hit the menu button once, ask for a 4-digit passcode. If you hit the menu button again, it just brings you back to the front screen. That's about all that button does. Ask for 4 digits. So you have to know your 4-digit passcode. Hit the enter button and the cursor will go over to the right for your 2nd digit. You can go either direction, up or down, for entering the number. So let's say I enter the wrong passcode and I hit enter. It just goes back and waits for you to do it again. Okay, there's our correct code. This is the first screen of our main menu. There's more to the menus than this. It's just one screen. And the way I know that is in the upper right hand corner, we've added a little up and down arrow to tell you there's more to it, because you can only put so much information on one screen. So you can toggle in either direction, up or down. You have the system menu, engine settings, advanced engine settings, throttle, input output, application configuration, start stop timer, communication, passcodes, and load configuration. And you go back to system. If you want a certain menu, you toggle down to it and you highlight it and you hit enter. It's that simple. And you do what you need to do in that menu. The system menu, let's make a set point change. You hit enter, now we're in the system menu. Toggle down to units. Hit enter. These are all the units that you can change. The pressure units default to PSI. Well, I don't want PSI. Hit enter again. I want KPA. I can choose KPA bar or PSI, but I want KPA. Toggle down to KPA. Now here's the trick to making a set point change. You have to hit enter after you've selected what you want that set point to be. If you don't hit enter, the controller won't take it. So I hit enter. Now it's KPA. Had I just hit the back button in that case, it would still be PSI. You thought you changed it, but you didn't really change it. So we're changed to KPA now. Now we can hit the back button because we've already changed it. There's the system menu, the first screen of it, and there's the main menu. Okay, let's talk about factory settings. When these controllers leave the factory, they all have factory set points. The Tech 10 and MPC 10, of course, have the same set points, the factory set points. The MPC 20, it's slightly different, but they're all from the factory, and they're all in bold on the appropriate owner's manual that you can download from the website. If for some reason you need to go back to factory settings after you've been there making set point changes, maybe your customer's customer calls tech services, doesn't know what's been changed, doesn't know where it is, and it's not acting like it should. Tech services might have you do a factory reset. Okay, that puts you back to square one when it first came out of the box, when it left the factory. So it's kind of a do-over. So if you go to Systems menu and toggle down and find Restore Factory Defaults, okay, you hit enter, and it says Reset Configuration. Now when you do this, if you've changed to one set point, like we did, or 100 set points, they're all going back to the factory setting. But sometimes you need to do that to find out where you are and to start over. So you hit enter, and the controller goes through reset. Splash screen, home screen. Okay, so let's see. Let's hit the menu button, do our entry code, and go to system menu. Let's go to units and see what it says. It says PSI. Again, 1 or 100 set points, it doesn't matter. It's going to go back to whatever the factory settings are. In this case, it's PSI. So we're back to square one. So that's just a good do-over. It's a good exit plan if you have to do that. So hit the back button, and we're in the system menu. Now we're in the main menu. And at any time you can hit the menu button and get out to the front display. There we are. Well, this concludes our Getting to Know PowerCore video. Thank you very much.